Hi, hello and welcome back to another Project Zomboid video. This is part 2 of an ongoing series of 10 years later. Now, this video is going to sound a little strange because for some reason the audio kind of messed up in OBS and it's entirely my fault, so I'm sorry about that. But I still recorded the video anyways because with Project Zomboid you can't go back and, do it again. So thank you so much for clicking on the video and we'll see where we left off last time. So where we left off, we were trapped inside of a school. The zombie problem I suspected I'd have isn't as bad as I thought it was, and I managed to take care of them pretty easily with the metal bar I found at the end of last episode. Just outside the door was the rest of the zombies that I've been worrying about, but they were too distracted to notice me, so I snuck my way back down the corridor I came from, and past a few zombies on the way. Around this corner there was two zombies, and one of them noticed me, so I decided to go through these double doors here into the cafeteria. After searching the cafeteria, I made my way out to the fire exit, back out into the streets. Here I found a floating van, which strangely enough isn't going to be the weirdest thing I find in this episode.
Oh shit, here we go again.
After taking out a dozen or so zombies, I decided to think what I wanted to do today. I was thinking that I really didn't want to stay in this town much longer, as all it's done so far is caused me a lot of pain. If I wanted to leave this town, I was going to need a decent car to go with, and I know I found some cars last episode, but I was a bit too far from them now to be bothered to really go back for them, and doing a bit more looting couldn't hurt at all. I noticed on my mini-map that there was a large house just next to me, so I decided to go check it out. In this house, there was so many books. It was absolutely full of really useful magazines and books, including a generator magazine, which was really good to find, as it would allow me to use generators later in the game, so I could restore the power to a building I live in. If I ever needed some skill books, I could always come back to this house, as it was absolutely full of every single skill book I'd ever need. However, this building had a lot more than just books. This dead zombie on the floor here had some guns, along with some guns in some wardrobes upstairs. It was here that I also switched out my backpack for a better one. after spending some time looting the rest of the house, I decided to leave, and I was getting really tired at this point, so I decided to find a better house just to stay the night in. I decided to check out this house, as it may be a possible area for me to sleep tonight. I entered the house through a window at the side, and immediately went upstairs to try and find somewhere to sleep. However, in the first room I checked, there was a zombie banging on a door, and it quickly noticed me, so I had to dispose of them. Being as tired as I was, it really affected my strength, and so it took a long time to kill just this one zombie. I heard banging on another door in the house, but I was too tired to go deal with it. I woke up at 10:40, looted the house a bit, and decided to leave the zombie alone for now. This car outside the front of the house that I spotted yesterday seemed to be in pretty good condition, so I checked it out, and turns out all it needed was fuel. 10% wouldn't get me very far, but it'd get me out of the city at least. So I got in, used my burglar trade to hotwire the car, and we were off. The roads were obviously full with plenty of bushes, so I had to navigate around most of them, but you'd never believe what I hear next. Is it A, a group of zombies, B, a Black Hawk helicopter, or C, a solid brick wall? If your answer was B, then you were correct. I have no idea what this is doing here. It may be just some mods overlapping with each other, and it just decided to spawn a Black Hawk helicopter here. But I was going to take advantage of this, and I went to go check it out. What? My driving had attracted a lot of zombies from the nearby area, so I was pretty much surrounded in all directions, and soon enough, my weapon broke. I snuck around to the helicopter, where I was ambushed and nearly bitten by one of the zombies. I quickly ran away, and thankfully I was only bleeding and scratched. That was a close call. It would have sucked to end the series on the second episode. I bandaged up and sought refuge in a nearby house. In the kitchen I found a cleaver, which would have to do as a melee weapon for now. After looting the house a bit, I decided I want to fight, so I went outside with my cleaver and started hacking away. This was until I realised I was greatly outnumbered and decided to retreat back into the safety of my house. However, this safety wouldn't last very long, as that many zombies could easily break down the front door, so I had to go and find another house. After scrounging around in the dark through some trees for a bit, I decided that I should go check out the helicopter instead, as that was my main goal here, and the first time didn't go very well. And as luck would have it, there was still a ton of zombies here, but I had a melee weapon now, so it really was time to fight. I took out as many zombies as I could, and then checked out the helicopter. It turns out that the helicopter was in perfect condition, and all it needed was fuel, so I decided I could siphon some out of my car and put it into the helicopter. First though, I quietly opened the door to see if there was a key in the glove compartment. There wasn't a key, but that didn't matter, because I could just hotwire it anyway. Next, I just needed some kind of container to siphon out the fuel with. I searched the surrounding cars for some gas cans, but no luck. So I decided to search this nearby house to see if I could find any water bottles that I could use to fill with fuel. I had no luck finding any water bottles, however I found something much more useful. A Heli for Dummies magazine. Now, up until this point, I didn't even know that I needed a magazine to fly a heli, so it was really convenient that I found it in a house with a heli outside. I made my way back to my car and poured out the water that I already had in some water bottles. I didn't really want to do this, but seeing as the water hadn't turned off yet, I thought I was going to be fine. After siphoning the fuel, I made my way over to the heli and filled it up. It wouldn't be much fuel, but it should be enough to get me out of this town at least. It was now time to fly. I have never flown a helicopter before on Project Zomboid, so I had no idea what to expect. I got up in the air, but that's about as far as I got. I had no idea how to fly this thing, and I did something really bad. That's right, I accidentally pressed E and got out of the helicopter. I circled around a few zombies to try and get back in, but I just couldn't. Now, it was stuck in the air, and I was stuck around a bunch of zombies. I just had to run for it. I tried to take refuge in a nearby house, but it just wasn't good enough. I had to find somewhere quick, or I was going to die. After clearing this building, I concluded that I was reasonably safe, but I was very tired and extremely exhausted, so I just had to sit and wait a while. I knew I'd have to move house eventually, as that zombie downstairs would probably hear me, and there was nowhere to sleep in this house anyway. As I sat on the floor, I thought about all the mistakes I had made today. Trying to leave this town wasn't a good idea. Leaving that helicopter wasn't a good idea. Taking on so many zombies probably also wasn't a good idea, but I had gotten this far and I wasn't dead yet, so I was determined to stay alive for as long as I possibly could. picked myself up from the floor, and I was ready to fight on. I just needed to make it over to the next house where there was a bed, so I could just sleep for the night. That's all I needed. Made my way downstairs, and I was reminded of my house guest. All I could do was push him onto the ground and run for it. I was so tired and exhausted, I didn't even have the strength to kill one zombie. Both the windows and the doors on this house were locked, and it already had a zombie in it anyway. I'd have to choose a different house. I made my way into some kind of garage complex, but I couldn't stop yet. I had to find somewhere safe, and all the doors of this place were open, so I went up. It was up here that I found some kind of overseer's office, and this is where I'd stay the night. The only thing I could sleep on was this chair, and I had no idea what the morning would bring me. All I knew is that whatever happens, I'd fight through it and try my best to survive. Hi everyone, I just want to say a big thank you for watching this video. It took me a while to edit it, longer than the first video, and the first video is doing really well at the moment, so thank you so much for that. I'm glad you guys are engaging, enjoying, whatever. But if there's anything else I can do, editing wise, etc., please leave a comment about it. I will reply to most comments. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.